Today I'm going to show you how to make a very basic FSG graphic, similar to the one that's right up here in the canvas window. So first things first, I imported in some backgrounds already, so they're ready to go. I'm going to double click on one to select it and drop it down on our sequence. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to the Effects tab, and I'm going to select Outline Text, and I'm going to drag that down to my sequence into the gray area, which will create a V2, and then I'm going to repeat that for a second line. So you should have, once you've dragged down the stuff that you're going to need, a graphic down here on the bottom one, and then two outline texts. So the top one I'm going to use for the words to go into the little title banner. So I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to click on the Controls tab, and I'm going to change the text in that text window. So Basic FSG graphic. I'm going to select this little gray area here so that it changes, and I'll see the change in Canvas. I'm going to change my font down to Helvetica. I'm going to change my style to bold, and I'm going to change the size to 25. Actually, I might change it to 30. Be bold. 30. I'm going to take my line width down to 25. And then I'm going to move that graphic up over that title banner. So I'm going to try negative 350. And I'm going to come over here to the canvas window, and I'm going to boost the size up to 100. And I'm going to scroll up because I want to see exactly how this is going to look on our screen. That looks a little tight, so I am going to take that size down to 25. And then I'm going to slide this basic over a little bit. So I'm going to go negative 50. And I'm going to check, and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to change my canvas window back to fit to window. Okay, so now that I've got my title ready, I'm going to come on back down here to outline text on that second, the V2 line. I'm going to double click it, and I'm going to open up the Controls tab so that I can change my text and enter in whatever the bullet points that I want my graphic to say. So I'm typing, I'm hitting return at the end of each line. And now I'm going to click over here in this gray area just so that my text updates in the canvas screen, and I see that it's way too huge because you can't even see all of it. But don't worry, I still have some values that I need to change here. Number one, I'm going to change my font to Helvetica. I'm going to leave it plain, but I'm going to change the alignment from center to left. Now I'm going to change my size. I'm going to take it down to 30. And you notice how bunched together the words are, the lines. They're all kind of sitting right on top of each other. I want those to spread out some so it looks a little better. So I'm going to come down here to this leading column, and I'm going to drag my slider until the words spread apart enough that I like. So let's try 90. And that looks pretty decent. I'm going to change my line width from 50 to 30. I'm going to then move my text down a little bit on the screen. So I'm going to try 50 first to see what that looks like. And that looks pretty good. So a quick word about your safe zones though. Your title safe zones with an HD project, the inside rectangle here is your text safe zone. So any text that appears inside of this, if you're doing an HD project that will be broadcast in HD, will show up. Since we're not actually broadcasting in HD, since we're broadcasting in standard def, you'll want to pay more attention to these little ticks that you see coming down here. These are vertical ticks on each of those title safe lines. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so it's easier to see. This tick right here is your picture safe zone. So anything inside of this will show up on screen. If you have an image that something that's important that runs a little bit over, you'll want to make sure that you move it over so that it's inside here, so that, because this is basically telling you that anything outside of this little tick will probably not show up on a 4:3 standard definition television. The inside one here is your text safe zone, just like the bigger rectangle is for 4:3. So as long as your words are basically on this line or inside, your text should show up fine on a 4:3 screen, standard definition screen. And those ticks are all the way around. So you see picture safe, title safe, text safe I should say, picture safe, text safe, picture safe, text safe. Now I'm going to zoom on back out. So we'll want to make sure that we render this before we finish up. Because you'll notice that there's this kind of grayish green line letting you know that you need to render before the image is completely ready to go. So I'm going to go up to Sequence, Render All, and Video. And once it's finished rendering, you now have a graphic that is broadcast quality for your package.